All right, New York Knicks fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Knicks sports talk and entertainment. And we have the Sacramento. Where are we at today? San Antonio tonight on Tuesday. Oh, you know what? It should be. I'm not saying the Knicks are going to win. It's a road game. I'm not marking it down and saying this is a win. I'm not giving that type of expectation right now. But I am happy that they faced the Nets last night. So they're coming on, and they're basically doing a back-to-back, so it should be interesting. Hopefully that will eliminate the legs a little bit of the San Antonio Spurs and allow the Knicks to run them roughshod. They are a young team, and like I said, the Knicks are a young team, so you know what? I'm excited to see what they're going to do tonight and how they're going to do it, and hopefully we're going to eke out another win and go 2 games over 500. I had a friend email me last night, and I thought it was an interesting email. And I laughed because I was like, wow, you know what? In bizarro world, something like that would probably be happen. But he was like, what if the Knicks trade back for Kristaps Porzingis? What if they call the Dallas Mavericks up and say, you know what? We're willing to take that $158 million contract, which he's only in the second year of, and we're willing to take back the 24-year-old Porzingis. And I was laughing because, when he said it, I was like, dude, I mean, you need to be somewhat grounded in reality. But then I thought about it. If you take a look at the expectations right now of the Dallas Mavericks and how he is fitting into the system and how he is, how they are, how they're not gelling with the Unicorn's ability. It's not a bad situation for Dallas to trade Porzingis anyways. And I know Mark Cuban saying, we're not trading him. We're not trading him at all. That was all just rumors. No, rumors start from somewhere. And a lot of times rumors start from reality. And if they truly thought that Porzingis, who's 25 years old, is going to be a cornerstone of their team, they would not even have these rumors or these expectations. His contract alone is going to make any deal, difficult to trade him. So, like I said, you got $158 million. You're going to need to find a team that's going to have the assets, the cap space, and be willing to move and, Porzingis and get, just for those issues. And the fact that you need to worry about his back, you need to worry about his knees, because 7-footers, once they start having knee problems, that you normally have knee problems throughout their entire career. And he has not been a stalwart in reference to playing with injuries. So, but that, plus his brothers are basically cancers. They just eat through a team. They have unrealistic expectations. You would think by now, with the number of years he's been in the league, that they would understand how to work with NBA teams, but they still make outrageous demands. One of the biggest issues, I think, and I think a lot of people talked about it before, the Knicks traded Porzingis, yes, because of the fact that he wanted out, but also because of his brothers. The Knicks didn't want to hire his brother. So you will not only have to deal with Kristaps, but you have to deal with Kristaps' family. But what if the Knicks did a turnaround and traded back for Porzingis? I mean, how crazy would that be, though? And honestly, it could potentially, if the Knicks really wanted to do it, they really could. They have the assets. They can make the cap space. It would be something that would never happen. But why wouldn't they? If it came up to, sending him back to he's got a contract. So you know what? He's going wherever they tell him to go. The Knicks have the draft capital, which is funny because they can just send back maybe even one of the draft picks from, one of the draft picks from back from the Mavs toss in a second rounder, throw him in some young talent. I would, if I was getting back Kristaps, I would probably give up, I'd probably give up Obi Toppin. Toss in Frank Ntilikina, Austin Rivers. I mean, as stupid as it sounds, I mean, you could potentially do something like that. I mean, he's shooting like 50% from the field, 35% from 3-point range. His defense is always going to be questionable. More than likely, you would not be able to maintain or keep Julius Randle. And that's one of the reasons why I would never do this deal. I just thought it was funny that, and the guy that sent me this, he is a huge Knicks fan. And he's been a Knicks fan longer than I have. He watches all the Giants stuff, and I think he said he's been a Knicks fan since like 1971. So he's seen the championship seasons. But I just laughed because after I sat, I laughed when I saw it, and I sat there and I said, "There's just no way. There's just no way in hell." But then, like I said, as you sit there and think about it logistically, if he didn't end the way he did in New York, you would be like, "Huh." It does make sense. You give him a young, potentially talented player in Obi Toppin. You give him the expiring contracts of Frank Ntilikina. You give him Austin Rivers. You throw in you know what you do? You throw in the Dallas's draft choice, which is unprotected, but you do a top 5 protection, and maybe toss in a second rounder or two. I mean, like I said, it won't happen. It's reality at its best would be, there is no reality in the bizarro reality world. Something like that could happen, but it's not going to. But like I said, it would be funny if you just turned around and say, you know what, you turn around to Dallas and say, you know what, we're going to give you one of your first round picks back. We're going to top 5 protect it. We're going to give you these 3 players in a second rounder for Kristaps. I mean, I would welcome him. If there was a way to keep Julius Randle and Porzingis, I would keep them both. I really would. Because you could still slide Kristaps into the, more into the center role as well. I mean, you could do a quasi center with him and Mitchell Robinson, like they were doing. I mean, you could do that. I mean, you literally could. But like I said, it's not grounded in reality. It's just something fun to think about, and I laugh because, like I said, when I saw it, I was like, "You're smoking something good," because whatever you're smoking, you got to send some over here. But you know what? We just got to keep rolling along. I don't see the Knicks being a seller at the trade deadline. I also do not see them being a buyer. I think they're going to stand pat. I think they're going to try to sign Julius Randle to an extension, which they should. I think they're going to try to cultivate their talent, see what they get in the draft, see if they can't figure out a way to get a young professional point guard. And I think, like I said, we're just going to keep rolling towards the playoffs. We're closing on halfway point of the season. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting in New York. It's great to see the fans are back in Madison Square Garden. I can't get a ticket because it's just way too expensive. But it's just nice to see we are getting back to normalcy a little bit in New York and a little bit with the Knicks. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Knicks sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could if you subscribe, if you ring that bell, I think you know what it means, that'd be awesome.